You want to kill us!
United Nations are telling us to act now! What are you doing?
You want to kill children and midwives!
You might remember hearing about the group of protesters who stormed the House of Commons, stripped off, and demanded the government listen to their views on climate change. Well, this week their clothes are on, but the gloves are off, as they do their best to bring 5 of London's busiest locations to a grinding halt, including Marble Arch, Oxford Circus, Waterloo Bridge, Parliament Square and Piccadilly Circus. But who are Extinction Rebellion, and what are they protesting for? Extinction Rebellion is a worldwide group of climate change protesters who have vowed to disrupt business as usual in London and other cities around the world to raise awareness for what they believe to be an escalating environmental crisis.
Climate change is happening now. It has been for a very long period of time, so we really need to address it. We have to, it's an emergency.
It was formally launched in October 2018 and has since been endorsed by the likes of Dame Emma Thompson and former Archbishop of Canterbury, Dr. Rowan Williams.
Now's the time to save the planet. As we all know, there is no planet B.
Controversially, the group says that they want as many people as possible to get arrested and plan to form a large network of groups that will carry out a series of rebellions over the next 2 to 3 years. So with all these protests going on, what are they actually hoping to gain? The XR have 3 demands that they want to see the government put into action. Firstly, they want the government and other institutions to do what they claim to be telling the truth and declare a climate and ecological emergency. Secondly, they want the government to address biodiversity loss and reduce carbon emissions to 0 by 2025. And lastly, they want the government to be led by the decisions of a citizens' assembly on climate and ecological justice.
The minute the government come and they have a meeting with us and they are willing to look at these 3 demands seriously, then this would get called off, wouldn't it?
Politicians are yet to meet with the group and discuss their demands, but a government spokesperson has told us.
We've seen firsthand the impact climate change is having on our environment, and we share people's passion to tackle this issue and protect our planet for future generations.
There is no real top-down structure within the group, but instead, members follow basic rules and aims and define their roles as they see fit within the various subgroups of XR. Implementing human roadblocks is the first tactic of its kind by the group, who have said their previous efforts of petitions and marches haven't worked in gaining the attention of the government.
So that's why we've got to fight together, but we can do it peacefully. Because if we don't do it this way, what's coming next after this is far worse.
But on the other side of the protests, motorists caught up in the disruption have spent hours in gridlock traffic in an already busy central London.
All the time I'm sitting here, my driving time's going down.
Just absolutely ridiculous. Every week there's something else that somebody's moaning about, aren't they? It's absolutely ridiculous.
The police have estimated a total of 500,000 people that have been affected by the diversion of 55 bus routes in London. But it's not just the added time to their journey that's a worry for some.
I'm not earning no money, so how am I meant to pay my bills? How am I meant to get a living?
While XR claimed to be a peaceful movement, at least 3 arrests were made in London after demonstrators smashed glass doors at oil giant Shell's headquarters, and mass arrests are also taking place across the group's 5 occupied areas. Some members as young as 14 within its youth branch have also pledged to be arrested.
The kids are on strike because we, the grown-ups, have not sorted this out. We launched our event yesterday in Parliament Square with a 10-year-old who has more intelligence and understanding of this issue than most of the adults that I've been speaking with.
And while the total number of arrests isn't yet known, it's expected to rise as the Met Police swarm in to try and take back control of areas like Waterloo Bridge. Few protesters have even gone to such lengths as to glue their hands to the underside of lorries in a bid to be heard.
There are thousands of us here in London and thousands who are willing to be arrested, and that's what we're proving the point over. We're not afraid to lose our civil liberties in order to secure our future.
Like in London, activists have also formed human roadblocks in 33 other countries around the world in what's being described as an international rebellion. And they're all claiming to want the same thing, to protect life on Earth. This is not the first time activists from the group have caused disruption to London's traffic. In November last year, Extinction Rebellion blocked traffic in areas including Elephant and Castle, Oxford Circus and Tower Hill.
Well, you know, I don't want your sticker. No, you did it for Saturday. You ruined my day's work Saturday.
Over the course of 4 days, a total of 45 protesters were arrested and busy London commuters were in chaos. This time, however, the total length of the rebellion could last up to 2 weeks, with many camping overnight and working in shifts in an attempt to continue the disruption throughout the night. But how do they feel towards those whose journeys will be significantly affected?
We do understand that for people where it is something that really does affect their life, then we do apologise. We don't want it to affect them. But what we are very aware of is that we are sacrificing. We don't want to be here. We don't do civil disobedience. It's not what I'm used to. I'm used to demonstrations, writing letters, but that's not worked.
Some supporters say Extinction Rebellion are a bit like the suffragettes. Disliked at the time, but eventually statues were built in their honour. But just how much further will they go to tackle climate change head on, and at what cost to commuters?
All we need is change. All we need is change, change. Change is all we need.